So as I mentioned in my last vlog, I have a shoot this week. It's actually tomorrow, where I have to bake in footage, bake in color into the footage. And so I am currently working with my cameras, A camera, FX6, and then this will actually be our technically C camera, the FX3 for B-roll, and then the FX30 here that I'm borrowing will be our B camera for the interview shoots. So I've got interviews and B-roll, pretty standard stuff, but these will be our three cameras here. Will be the A cam, B cam, C cam. Currently getting Cinetone set up on these. So I have been told by multiple people that that is the best picture profile to use to get to bake in your color. So I've got a Cinetone set up on the FX3, I've got it set up on the FX30, and I'm now getting it set up on the FX6. So I'll let you guys know once I figure that out. I also vlog this. This will be the vlog of that whole shoot. So and maybe into the week, I don't know yet, but yeah, I'll let you guys know how Cinetone ends up looking and how it goes. I'm gonna do maybe some camera tests just to make sure we're good to go, but make sure everything's matching. But yeah, just wanted to give you guys an overview of what I'm working on, which is prepping cameras for tomorrow's shoot with baked in color. This first interview went pretty well. We got set up in the room. I'll show you guys the lighting setup here in a second. But it was pretty solid. I felt pretty good about the frame. We ended up going with a pretty shallow aperture just to blow out the background because we were in a conference room and the background wasn't great. You can see I'm also at ISO 640 using Cinetone, and it was actually for the first time I used these low, medium, high switches on this little lever here. All right, so we just wrapped up our interview, our first interview of the day. So I'm gonna walk you guys through kind of our interview setup. Here's our subject chair. We've got the boom mic going over top on the stand. This is our B camera, so this is our FX30. I had the 24-70. Deontay is shooting this project with me, so he just took the 24-70 to go off and shoot some B-roll. But this was our B cam. I had this FX30, so with the crop sensor, I probably had it around, I don't know, maybe a 65 mil. It was a little bit less than 70. 70 was too tight, so I had somewhere around 60 to 65 mil. With obviously crop sensor that crops in more. And then over here, we've got our A cam, which is on the 50 mil prime that I have, Sigma lens 1.4. So we got to use the nice low aperture of 1.4 through some ND on. We are using flexible ISO because, as I mentioned earlier, we're using Cinetone, still shooting 4K DCI at 24p or 2398, XAVC-I. And I'm simultaneous recording, which I don't always do, but since this is a pretty big high-ticket client, we're shooting for a university, I'm gonna make sure nothing goes wrong. Doing the same thing on, actually this FX30 is single recording, but this is the B cam, so I've never had any issues with any SD cards or anything like that, but I'm just gonna hope and pray that that works out. But yeah, just my typical FX6 rig here on the A camera. Lighting wise, we had to be a little bit creative because we've got this big window. I was initially thinking about our frame being something like this, kind of looking over towards having our subject here on the wall and then having the window in the background. But the sun, this faces east right here, so the sun was rising up this way. I used my sun tracker or sun seeker app to track it and make sure, obviously it's kind of out of the window now, but still a lot of light coming through, and we just weren't going to be able to match output wise with what this sun was doing. So we ended up flipping the room looking this way, and then use this room or this light kind of as ambient fill and motivation. So lighting wise, I'm borrowing a Nanlite 300B up there. We've got a 48-inch softbox. I think the light's at around 4,400 Kelvin. Over there, we've got a Nanlite FS300C, which is set to 3,200 just to give some kind of warm fill or warm hair light over on a stand there. We kind of took this as base camp for all my gear. And then over here is a cool rig. This is utilizing some of the grip gear I got recently. So C-stand with sandbags going up. Then on the C-stand arm, I've got a clamp Cardellini head that is holding on to an impact boom pole that I picked up. And then clamped onto with the $1 Home Depot clamps. We've got this big black curtain, so you can see obviously it's not fully flagging it, but it's taking out most of the light that would be hitting this whole wall here. So we rigged this up just because we didn't want this. I honestly am kind of disappointed because it's frustrating. I love the texture that this brings to the wall, but because the sun's going to be moving and changing on us, we have to flag it off. So I would have loved to keep that texture there, but to maintain a clean corporate commercial look, I ended up keeping that off. We also started to get some light coming in on our subject hands right here. So I put this 5-in-1 and just set that up to block the light. And I can show you guys some playback just to see. I know I took a picture of the monitor, but I'll just show it in this video. Here we go. So straight out of camera, S-Cinetone, I think it looked great. Really happy with our frame. And like I said, I think the lighting turned out awesome. So yeah, nice little walkthrough of our first interview setup for the day. We then moved into the B-roll part of the day, at least for our first interview. I wanted to showcase Deontay handheld using this chair as a dolly. Such ingenuity. But no, we were tag teaming B-roll. Our total assignment for the day was to shoot 2 interviews and then shoot B-roll for each interview. So it was a pretty standard corporate style day for the both of us, and we got some pretty solid stuff. Our schedule was definitely rushed. We were supposed to shoot B-roll until 12:30, and then 12:30 to 1 was blocked off at lunch, or blocked off for lunch, which doesn't sound too bad. But the problem was we were supposed to start our second interview at 1 o'clock. So that leaves us 30 minutes to not only eat, but also get across campus and set up another interview in a campus where parking is not easily accessible. So we ended up getting behind. We still got done everything we needed to, barely, but we were very rushed setting up our second interview. So this is roughly what it looked like. I wasn't thrilled with it, but I also wasn't unhappy with it. I think it looked, I don't know, I'd give it like a B plus. But we ended up going shallower aperture again just to kind of hide that room as best we could. And then moving into the B-roll for it as well, we just got some stuff inside, and then we decided to get some stuff outside too. In Ohio, obviously the weather has been not great throughout the entirety of the winter. It's actually been a really harsh winter, but today, or at least the day we shot on, was a beautiful spring day, upwards of 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So beautiful day to be outside, be in the weather, and get some sunshine. So we got some good stuff. Deontay and I were kind of tag teaming B-roll. I was on the FX6, usually with the 70 to 200, and then he was on the FX3 with the 24 to 70. So just kind of tag teaming. I ran easy rig when I could, and he was just fully handheld. So pretty simple. And I'll be sending this off, so no edit required. It got a solid day rate for me and Deontay. And yeah, it was a pretty solid gig. I was really happy with how everything went.
Good morning. It's the day after that university shoot, and I've got a shoot today that I probably won't vlog. It's just another B-roll shoot in the teaching kitchen that I showed last video, I think. But I wanted to quickly answer a question, so this will probably be the last thing in this vlog. But I got a comment on my last YouTube video where a guy said, hey man, I recently discovered your YouTube and been loving the stuff you are putting out. You did mention charging a half day rate for the gig on the vlog, and that was for the one at the airport. I'm curious to know how you structure your pricing if you are happy to share. Does it include your gear, or do you charge that separately? Now, my initial instinct was to write up a really long YouTube comment kind of explaining this, but I figured this might be valuable for someone who doesn't scroll through the comments, and it'll be easier for me to just say it instead of typing it out. So my answer to that question of how I structure my pricing, does it include gear or do I charge that separately? I wish I had a great system to share where I'm like, yeah, these are my prices. This is my itemized gear prices for rentals. And I have a list of all of my gear and what the rental price-ish is. But I am still in a system for structuring my pricing where it is kind of a by project basis. I mentioned in another video that I am at a point now in my career, I guess, where I don't need to take every job. And so I've had jobs where, people reach out to me and say, what does this cost? And I kind of aim for the stars, and I'm like, hey, this is, this much money that's like higher than my normal day rate. And sometimes they go for it, and sometimes they're like, oh, that's not in our budget. And so then I work my way back down. And the reason is because, and this was something that Jared Phelps said in one of his videos, he talked about this whole concept of like, when a client offers a price that is lower than your day rate or your half day rate, or it's just your day rate but no extra pay for gear rentals or anything like that, when they offer you a number that is lower than you were hoping, you have two options. Option one is you stick to your guns and you say, all right, I'm not doing it, and that's okay, you'll have to find someone else, I can direct you to someone else maybe, which sometimes is the right choice because a project is going to overload your schedule, or it's going to inhibit you from doing another job well, or you don't want to be double booked. There's a chance you're going to have a much better project on that day. The other option is you take the hit on the pay and acknowledge that, okay, I could make no money on this day, or I could make a little bit less money than I was hoping on this day and actually work the day. So that is kind of my motto with things as I am right now, where if I don't have anything on the day, why not work for a little bit less than my normal day rate? And I acknowledge that there's an element of this where if there's someone who could be a repeat client, I'm offering them a cheaper price and they might think that's the normal price, and then, then they'll get in their head that they can hire me for that again. And then, I get it, but at the same time, I think it's still a by project basis, and I don't know if I will ever truly develop like a sheet of paper or a virtual document that I send to people of, this is my pricing, and then that's it. Like, and that's there's no further negotiations or anything like that. So I know that might not be helpful. I hope that's helpful. My kind of strategy behind that system is that there are going to be times where I'm going to get higher than what I'd say my day rate is. So there are also going to be times where I get lower, but I'm also a year into my career, a year and some change. I didn't start freelancing until I graduated from college in 2023. And even then it was I wouldn't even call it freelancing until really the start of 2024. So, I'm kind of sponging up what day rates are and where they land and how much this costs and how much that costs and all this stuff. So that's kind of been my strategy with pricing, is kind of feel it out, because some clients might have a way bigger budget than your day rate, but they still want to go with you, and so then you're making more money than you would if you just sent them your pricing. So to Derek, thank you for the comment. I hope that is helpful. If not, I'm sorry, but that's how I structure my pricing, and is that I kind of don't, and I kind of just go by project, and it's been working out so far. I haven't really been burned of like I've had a few things where, okay, this is a little more work than for what I got paid, and that's frustrating, but I learned from it, and I'm getting better and better and better at acknowledging, like, okay, what is this worth? How much of my time is this worth? How much of whatever is this worth? So yeah, that's my pricing structure. Just wanted to share. I think I just doubled the length of this vlog, but it is what it is. So thanks for checking this out, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.